You know that feeling when you're scrolling through job listings and you see entry-level position in bold letters, and for a split second you get excited? Then you click on it, and the first requirement is 3 to 5 years of relevant experience. And you just sit there thinking, wait, how is that entry level? Like, how is someone supposed to get 3 years of experience if every entry-level job requires 3 years of experience? It's like needing a driver's license to take the driving test. Look, if you've sent out hundreds of applications, gotten maybe a handful of responses, and started questioning whether you're doing something fundamentally wrong, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Because what's happening? It isn't your fault. The entry-level job market is broken in ways most people don't even realize. I'm the lazy finance guy, and I spend way too much time thinking about why the economy does things that make absolutely no sense. And right now, one of the most quietly devastating things happening is the complete collapse of entry-level positions. And I say quiet because nobody's really talking about it. There's no dramatic headlines, no breaking news alerts, just millions of college students and recent grads sending out application after application into what feels like a black hole. Here's what we're actually dealing with. The average job seeker now sends out over 100 applications before getting a single interview. Not a job offer, an interview. And for entry-level positions, that number's even worse. Let's start with what's happening right now that most people don't see. Employers are looking at AI and having a full-blown panic attack about entry-level positions. They're thinking, why should I hire someone fresh out of college for this data entry role when ChatGPT might be able to do it in 6 months? Why bring on a junior analyst when we could just train an AI model? So you know what they're doing? These positions aren't being automated yet. They're disappearing because of the fear that they will be. It's like canceling your gym membership because you're worried the gym might close next year. Except, instead of gym memberships, it's people's careers. But let's say you find a posting that hasn't been cut due to AI fears. You click on it, your hopes are up, and then you see it. Entry-level marketing coordinator. Requirements: bachelor's degree, 2 to 3 years of marketing experience, proficiency in 6 different software platforms you've never heard of. I'm sorry, what? Entry-level with 2 to 3 years of experience? That's not entry-level. That's mid-level work that they want to pay entry-level wages for. It's like advertising an apartment as cozy studio when it's actually a closet with a hot plate. And this isn't just one company doing this. This has become the standard. Employers have somehow convinced themselves that entry-level doesn't mean your entry into the workforce. It means the lowest level position we're offering, but you still need to have done this job somewhere else first. And now, here's the part that's going to make you want to throw your laptop out the window. A lot of those jobs you applied to, they weren't real. They're called ghost jobs. Companies post job listings with absolutely no intention of actually hiring anyone. Why would they do this? Oh, there are lots of reasons, and none of them are good. Some companies want to look like they're growing, so they post fake positions to make investors think they're expanding. Some are collecting resumes to build a database for future hiring. Some are posting jobs they've already filled internally, but HR policy requires them to post it publicly anyway. And some are just testing the market, seeing what kind of talent is out there and what salary expectations look like. So you've been spending hours, days, maybe weeks, carefully crafting applications for positions that were never going to be filled in the first place. You've been applying to jobs that don't exist, competing against candidates who don't exist, for opportunities that were fake from the start. It's not just that the system is broken, the system is actively wasting your time. And the worst part? There's no way to know which jobs are real and which ones are ghosts, until you've already wasted your time applying. Now let's zoom out and talk about the economic environment all of this is happening in. Because it's not like companies are flush with cash and just choosing to be difficult. Prices are going up everywhere. Everything costs more. But you know what isn't going up at the same rate? Company budgets. Most businesses are getting squeezed from every direction. Their costs are rising, but their revenue isn't keeping pace. And when companies need to cut costs, you know what's always first on the chopping block? Training programs. Entry-level positions. Anything that doesn't provide immediate value. Here's the thing about entry-level employees. They require investment. You have to train them. They make mistakes. They need mentorship. They're not productive on day one. And in a tight economy, companies look at that and think, why should we invest in training someone when we could just hire someone who already knows how to do the job? So even the companies that want to bring on entry-level workers are struggling to justify the expense. They're being squeezed financially, and training new employees feels like a luxury they can't afford. Interest rates have been high, which means it's harder for companies to borrow money to grow. So instead of expanding and creating new positions, they're in survival mode, trying to maintain what they have. Let me show you what this actually looks like in practice, because when you run the real numbers, it gets even more depressing. Let's say you're a recent college grad. You spent 4 years and probably somewhere between $40,000 to $200,000 on a degree, depending on where you went to school. You were told this degree would open doors, that it was an investment in your future. Now you're on the other side, and here's what the job search actually costs. Time-wise, applying to 100 jobs, if you're doing it right with customized resumes and cover letters, takes about 50 to 75 hours. That's almost 2 full work weeks of unpaid labor just to maybe get a handful of interviews. If you're applying to 500 jobs, you're looking at 250 to 375 hours. That's 6 to 9 full work weeks of full-time effort, with zero income. Now add in the emotional cost, the constant rejection, the ghosting, the self-doubt that creeps in when you've sent out 200 applications and gotten 5 responses. You start questioning everything: your degree, your worth, whether you're even cut out for the professional world. Some people take on part-time jobs just to survive while job hunting, which means they're working 30 to 40 hours a week and spending another 20 to 30 hours applying to jobs. They're essentially working 2 full-time jobs, one of which doesn't pay anything. Others are moving back in with their parents, not because they want to, but because they can't afford to live independently while searching for a job that seems to not exist. The dream of post-college independence gets delayed by months, sometimes years. And here's the really messed up part. Even when you finally land that entry-level job, it probably pays $40,000 to $50,000 a year in most fields. After taxes, that's like $30,000 to $35,000 take-home. And you're supposed to pay off student loans, afford rent, buy food, and somehow save for the future on that. The math doesn't work. The entire pipeline from education to employment is broken. So let's put this all together, because this is bigger than just a tough job market. We've got AI anxiety eliminating positions before they're even automated. We've got impossible experience requirements for, quote, entry-level work. We've got ghost jobs wasting everyone's time. And underneath all of it, we've got an economic environment that makes it harder for companies to take chances on new talent. This isn't just a rough patch that'll correct itself. This is a fundamental break in how people are supposed to enter the workforce. Think about it. For decades, the path was straightforward. You go to school, you get a degree, you apply for entry-level jobs, you get hired, you work your way up. That system worked for your parents. It worked for people 10 years ago. But that conveyor belt from education to employment, it's jammed. And an entire generation is stuck at the loading dock, watching their peers struggle with the exact same thing, wondering if they're the problem. You're not the problem. The system is broken. It feels like the pillars holding up the entry-level job market are cracking, and they're cracking fast. We're watching in real time as the traditional path into the workforce becomes obsolete, and nothing is replacing it. Look, I don't have all the answers for how to fix this. I wish I did, but I can tell you this. If you're going through this right now, if you've sent out 100 applications and gotten nothing back, if you're starting to think there's something wrong with you, there isn't. You're not failing. The system is broken. You're not unqualified. The requirements are insane. You're not doing something wrong. The game is rigged. This is a structural problem, not a personal failing. And the only way it gets fixed is if people start talking about it. If we stop pretending that this is normal. If we stop accepting that's just how it is as an answer. The entry-level job market is collapsing quietly, one rejection email at a time. And if we don't figure out how to fix it, we're going to lose an entire generation of workers who never got the chance to start. So keep applying, keep pushing, keep refusing to accept that this is how it should be. Your generation deserves better than this. And eventually, something's going to have to give. What's your experience been? Drop it in the comments, because I guarantee you're not alone in this.